7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Hello, everybody! Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone's having a good Wednesday. It has been a day. So I figured we'd give some more CyberCorp a shot here, because I actually was really enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun. Oh, hey, I get a daily reward. Cool! Milestone 3. But yeah, what's new in the world of black magic? So, almost made a bad financial decision today that Micro Center has 5090s in stock. I kind of want one. Oh, me. You don't know how hard it is to resist to go swipe that credit card and grab me a 5090. It has been, frankly, I actually don't need it for my main computer since I upgraded the 9950X or X3D, and my 4090 is still cranking hard. It's a workhorse. The issue I'm having is with my home theater PC upstairs on the 4K TV. That also is a gaming PC, and the 4K TV has been putting that 3080 Ti to shame. It's something that I understand that a 3080 Ti is going to struggle with in general a 4K resolution. So I really was hoping to maybe upgrade to a better GPU, but unfortunately it doesn't look like the 4090 even is having struggles with 4K content. So it's just what it is. It's the nature of 4K, right? So it comes down to it's going to come down to availability and price versus what I really want to do. And frankly, the 5090, I mean, it's a 20% uptake from the 4090. What I might probably do, so if there's going to be a 5090 Ti, I might be interested in that. But I will probably skip this generation and then look at the 6090 series for that kind of production. Plus, there's, the gloat factor of I've got a 6090. Nice. Right? So it is what it is. As much as nice as it would be to have a 5090, I don't really have the need. There are a few games that struggle at 4K on that machine. Monster Hunter Wilds is one of them, but I think that also comes down to an optimization issue. I'm hoping that they fix that. Oh, shit. I fucked up. But I don't hold my breath for that. Monster Hunter Wilds is really nice, but Jesus, it's way too demanding for what it delivers. Oh, crap. Use 6 different types of skills? There we go. All right. Cool. One more. Yeah, it was definitely worth it to go grind out that gear that we did last stream. Okay, reload. We're doing pretty good, though. This run's going pretty well. Whoops! And as I say that, I walk into a damn mine. What am I clearing the way for over here? Oh, I can't go that way, apparently. Fair enough. Get back to my sniper rifle, because I love this sniper rifle. X to enable flashlight. No enemies on the radar. Had to open my damn mouth. Any more? Yep. Very nice. Oh, there's one more. There we go. Triple kill. Nice. All right. S rank. Very, very nice. Just occurred to me that I don't have that pulled up. I didn't mean to start Copilot. Microsoft, go away. Oh, don't want that crap. It's on my streaming rig, and I've just been way too lazy to delete it just because I don't use my streaming rig for anything other than streaming. So why would I bother to perform maintenance on it, right? All doors are unlocked. Very nice. What's over here? Let's see. What you got? What you got? What you got? This seems like, oh, there's a loot crate over here. That's what's over here. I was like, this seems like a little secret area, doesn't it? Security system has been connected to the cache. Oh, great. I'm assuming we looted everything out of there. You're gonna go that way. You're gonna go that way. Crap. Nice. That wasn't too bad. We are Cyber Ninja. What do we get? Oh, more money. Okay, that's fine. My rifle's better. Any more? Yep. Come on. There we go. Cool. S+. There's one in the corner over here. Cool switch. There we go. As I say, yeah, that's not going to help my rating much. Triple kill! Nice. Any more? Combat music still cranking. Brutal. Whoops. Nice. Okay. I can't get through that. Oh, I guess we need to stay here. I can't even see that. Oh, he's reflecting it off the actual... That's cool. Whoops. There we go. Nice. There we go. That one's down. A plus. All right, I'll take it. And we got some good loot. Cool. Nice. Jesus. Just keeps going. It's like, don't. How did I get a D that round? Oh. All right, let's see here. We did not complete any... Oh, kill. Interesting that I didn't complete that. So we have some new weaponry here that's actually got higher DPS. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's actually better. Okay, and over here, don't have anything for that. New sword. Okay, less health, more speed, more... All right, can I attach cards to it? I can. All right, let's do that. I can break that down now. How about this guy? I don't want that at all. Boy, that's a tough one. That is a real tough one. We can actually add one more to that. Yeah, we're gonna trash that one. All right, over here. That's garbage. Okay. Slider and shield recovery. Oh, look at that shield, though. 232 shield? Yeah, we'll take that. Alrighty. Forge. Go ahead and upgrade all of these. There we go. And we got our damage wave upgraded too. Okay. So on this guy... Nice. Nope, can't afford that. All right, how about this? Can't afford that. All right, there we are. Okay. We have a boss, a wandering robot. Doesn't say what the level. We'll try it. Let's see if we can't kill this boss. Kill the boss. All right, that's cool. Oh, am I about ready to unlock the third slot? Oh, that'd be cool. Oh, we have a lightsaber. I can dig it. kind of glad we do not have the sniper rifle right now. Wonder if I wonder how susceptible they are to the sword. Very susceptible. Okay, that's fine. Next. Whoops. Last wave. Boom! Whoa! Invader incoming. Nope, nope, nope. Leave me alone. Ow, that was a landmine. Got it. Nice. Alrighty. Moving right along. No data intelligence available. For these. Okay. Alright, let's head that way. Oh wait, that was a yellow box. I just noticed it. I can't pick it up though. There we go. Oh! Are you throwing landmines at me? Shit, 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 shit. I don't know what Sin is saying, but I can't really pay attention to that right now. Sin, you're not doing a brother a favor right now. Nice. Ooh, what gun did we just pick up? Let me go message Sin. I'm streaming, dumbass! Alright, let's see here. So, that wasn't bad. Still got a D rating in battle. Okay, let's take out our inventory. We have several new guns. That's power level 22? Ooh. I want to see if I can upgrade this to match it, though, because that would be really nice. An auto rifle. Oh, it can go in this slot, too. Available after completion of mission 10. All right, well, hold on. Let's get rid of stuff we don't want. The Jonah? The designated marksman rifle. That thing is a fucking block. More health, less shield. Nah. You will lose 50? Oh, yeah, that's fine. And then, okay. Power, whoa. Hey, Sen. It's just talking about you. I wonder why. Like, Sen, you're not helping. I'm in the middle of a boss fight, and you're like, yeah, check it out. Shut up. I'm dodging bullets here, man. How you doing today, Sen? Not enough credits. I'm under a tornado watch. That's fun. Neat. Doing good. Just called work a little early today to have some breathing room. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, that's right. We unlocked more music for our base. Welcome to Cybercorp. It's kind of a neat little game. That being said, let me come over here. How much? I didn't earn quite a lot. Got to get my new gamer chair tomorrow. Can't wait. I'm assuming it's supposed to be can't wait. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. You'll be able to hear through walls now, man. You'll be able to see through walls. It'll be great. It's a shame about the 8-bit Dove controller, though, man. Yeah, the 8-bit Dove controllers, $30 for a real high-quality controller. I couldn't believe it. Killed that. Oh, there's another wandering robot. I don't think I want to do those quite yet, though. Where are we? We're at mission 8, deal. So we're power level 17 right now. This should be fine. Yeah, I don't know what's next for my upgrades, in all honesty. I still haven't found a headset. I mean, I love my Audis Maxwells. They are great for hearing literally everything, but they're closed. So I might see about changing the ear cups to open those. Because that's primarily the reason why I love speakers, is because it gives me some really nice freedom to, it gives me some nice freedom that I don't have to have that on my head, especially as someone that's prone to migraines. But yeah, other than that, I've been playing some Schedule 1. I actually found a really nice mod list for it that really expands on some nice quality of life stuff for that game. For instance, that's one of the things that's always bugged me is you don't get a bonus based on quality, and this fixes that. The other thing that kind of bugged me is that if you have businesses, right? You know, you use businesses to launder money through. But in order to launder money, they have to be able to provide an income. So this also adds that if you're not laundering money at those businesses, it provides you passive income, which I thought was like, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then, I mean, it's not much. Like the laundromat is like $500 a day, but still, it's something, right? And then it also lets you access dealers at the hotkey. It lets you access, help me, your things like that. It's been really cool. It's been really fun. Really good mods. And like I said, nice quality of life stuff that I agree with. Nothing game breaking, because I don't like that kind of mods that are like, oh yeah, you're like invincible with $1 million to start the game with. No, that's not fun. That's broken is what that is. But I mean, that being said, that's the glory of modding, right? If that's your thing, go for it. Not mine. Not at all. That kind of ruins the game in my mind. But some other cool things, it lets me manage people and pay them from an app on my phone, which is really nice. Let me think. What else does it do? It lets me spray paint graffiti around the city, so I can actually customize the city to be what I want it to. It adds more cops. That's something interesting, and it increases cop sight range. So you actually have to be a little bit more careful, because it also changes the way that cops actually will sight you. So they won't just like magically know where you are and start following you through the city. They'll go to your last known location and look for you there. It adjusts a little bit about that too. It also adjusts some of the dealer stuff that you can negotiate better cuts depending on what they're selling. Like I said, the big one for me is the quality increase, that if you actually produce and put effort into making better quality drugs, that they will actually give you a bonus on top of that. The really cool thing is, since I carry jars around with me and not baggies, it will let you auto negotiate prices, so that like when you counter offer, when someone wants to buy something from you and you increase the number, it absolutely modifies the asking price automatically to match what you're asking plus some, based on what the current offer was. And like, that is amazing. That is great. That is a huge quality of life. So like I said, it's some pretty cool mods. The one that's very annoying that I need to go figure out and disable is there's a mod that automatically opens doors. The problem, I mean, it sounds great, right? Oh, wow. So every time you walk up to a door, it automatically opens. The problem with that is it opens all the doors, not just ones you own, including ones that aren't supposed to open. So like behind the gas station, right? That you actually have that meat drop, that meat there. The door opens and you can't actually get back there anymore. It's hilarious. And I'm just like, I can't actually go to the meat while the door is there. So yeah, a little bit buggy. I mean, but that's kind of also the grace of modding there too. But yeah, it's been pretty solid. I didn't know there was a mod loader for the game though. Oh crap! Fucked that up. Fucked it up again. Damn, Magix. But yeah, like I said, Schedule 1's been pretty fun. It also expands upon the employees a little bit, and expands their usefulness, letting them do more, which I actually appreciate quite a bit. Because it's like, all right, this guy's going to sit idle 90% of the time because he can only watch 8 plants at a time. That's fucking dumb. And because you have him watching all 8 plants, he's currently capped out. Why? So it also expands upon that. It also helps your plants retain their nutrients. So if you're like using fertilizer, they will the soil, for as long as the soil lasts, will retain that fertilizer. I thought that's a godsend, because that makes a lot of sense, that you fertilize the soil, not the plant. So why is it that if the soil remains after the plant's gone, why is the fertilizer gone? Right? So that really does add some really cool stuff to it, and some really nice quality of life stuff. Is that a missing texture? I think that's a missing texture. So I don't know what that is. Interesting. All right, another bug. We're almost dead. Excuse me. I'm literally got no health and no life left. You might want to have that heal. There we go. But yeah, other than that, today's been an interesting day. I've got some new light fixtures coming in today that I intend to buy. Intend to hook up. Luckily, I know how to do that. Light fixtures are pretty easy to work with. As long as you don't electrocute yourself. But I also have some new ceiling fans coming tomorrow. Got some more motorcycle parts coming tomorrow. Got my new air coolers for the server and the 4K gaming rig coming. It's just a shame. Like, I like 4K as a total, but I just don't think PC gaming isn't there yet. And unlike consoles, which have kind of accepted 4K at 30 FPS, that's not really acceptable for a PC gamer like me. It's just, I understand, but I want my 60 FPS at, with good graphic settings. I don't want my 60 FPS with like, here's low settings. Now you can run at 60. Cough, Monster Hunter Wilds. We've entered this state where devs are substituting. I can't go back to what? To 60 from 60 FPS to 30? Yeah. And imagine if you were at 1440p at 120, right? Because even then, 1440p is even better than, looks so much better. I still, to this day, think 1440p is the sweet spot of PC gaming. It's just Invader coming. Oh, shit. 1440p is just where games are meant to be played on PC right now in my mind. Yep, saw that coming. Yeah, like 1440p is the perfect combination for a 27-inch monitor. Oh, I died to the Invader. Okay, well, I guess we don't get another opportunity to fight that either. That's fair. That was just a wide open arena and he'd close the gap way too quick. I was screwed. Well, he's dead. We've got some new items though. Let's see, did I miss anything back here? But yeah, like I said, it's just, I'm disappointed that devs haven't started prioritizing more optimization. Because there are certain games that in 4K look phenomenal. Like Wizard of Legend. Sin and I played that. Remember that, Sin? That was a ton of fun. And that plays wonderfully on that 4K TV. It's wonderful. I just really wish games weren't so poorly optimized. All right. We have new weapons. We have an SMG. Still want to upgrade those. Oh my god. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Holy Fire. It's a shotgun. It's only common quality though. That's the bad side about it. We do have this pistol though that we can utilize. I can get rid of that G14 Centurion now. Oh, that sucks. That sword is nowhere near as good as what we have. Hey, we have full heavy armor on. And that's actually better. Oh, wow. That's much better, but it's only common quality, but it is better, so we'll take it. So we should be in all heavy armor now, and we are. Nice. Okay. Let's go take a look at this forge. But yeah, outside of that, got some cool games coming out soon. Night Raid's obviously around the corner. Like I said, Gray Zone 0.3 patch is around the corner, and I am so stoked for that. Absolutely stoked for that. Hard to overstate my anticipation for that. Let me see here. So we actually still not as good. All right, well, we'll get rid of it, sadly. All right, so mission 10 is where we unlock the next one. Oh, I've almost killed 150 Syndicate members. Let me get rid of that. How's Oblivion, by the way? I still haven't gotten too far into it. I need to. I have it. But that being said, I just found out that there is a new version of the AI Companions mod that I love so much that I've been looking for that streamlines the companion control for Baldur's Gate 3. And given the fact that this last patch was, they've kind of announced that the game is now feature complete and they don't look to be adding anything else to the game, I think now may be the time. I think it may be the time that I actually go play Baldur's Gate 3. Hey, Honda. How you doing, buddy? Honda, I don't know if you saw my Discord message, but I got featured in MFG's latest video. I mean, it was a quick 10-second clip, but still. Kind of cool. Oh, that's no fair, going out of bounds. I can't kill you well when you do that. Oh, this isn't good. This is not good. Yep, saw that coming. Honda, you'll be proud of me. I did some preventative maintenance today that keeps my house less of a fire risk. Not that I actively try to turn it into one, but I actually cleaned the lint trap out of my dryer. Like, I actually took the lint trap apart, disassembled it, and cleaned it. Specifically because it was getting bad. And I think I might be a good thing, but not sure yet. I mean, it depends what you're breathing in, right? It's like, I'm breathing! What are you breathing? Let's not talk about that. But, yeah, like I said, took my lint trap apart. Made sure to make that less of a fire risk. I need to actually hook up my, one of the things I need to do is I need to actually duct tape up that ductwork and, get it, duct tape on the ductwork and hook my shop vac up to it to clean that out. But yeah, other than that, I'm doing some renovations to the house. Got some new ceiling fans coming in, which those are fairly easy to install, especially if there's already a ceiling fan there. So I'm adding one ceiling fan and replacing 3. So changing out all the ones. The good news is they're going to be smart ones, and from what I've understood. Hey, Bimer, how you doing? From what I understand, Hunter is kind of the name brand in ceiling fans, so I ended up buying 4 Hunters. No chicken? No. Duck, no chicken. Yeah. Also, Pimer, did you see my message? I was featured in the latest Gray Zone Warfare video. From Madfinger Games. And Pimer, I almost made a really bad financial decision today. Yeah, if you actually go watch today is their 1-year anniversary of Gray Zone Warfare's release, and they asked for some feedback from the playtesters of Point 3, and just a quick 10-second clip, and I provided one, and it got featured in their video. So at 50 seconds, you can actually see me pop up and comment on it. And apparently, I may also be the top comment on their YouTube video. No. This was in celebration of their 1-year anniversary. So it's pretty cool. Kind of just commenting on the status of the game and where I see the game going. Yeah, from what I've seen, Hunter is a really good name brand that will last a while. So I ended up picking 4 Hunters up. 3 of them are smart fans. 1 of them is not. Now, that being said, I'm very interesting. The previous owner replaced the fan in my master bedroom. And he didn't wire it correctly. Like, there are specifically two wires. Or there's two switches. One controls the fan, one controls the light. And he bridged them together. So one light switch is entirely dead now. Doesn't do a damn thing. The other light switch controls both the light and the fan because the fan has a remote. And I was like, you know the remote would still work if you had just wired the damn thing properly. But hey, who am I? I'm just a guy that inherited your mess. Ugh. Ow. I have no shields. I would love some auditory feedback that my shields were broken. I know it says break above my head, but oftentimes if I'm focusing on the enemy, especially on a 1440p screen, I don't actually see that. Like, so I would like a little low hum or something letting me know that my shields are busted. That was one of the cool things about Halo, right? Halo did that. You know, you would hear that shatter and then that boom, 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 as your shield's recharged. Because, yeah, I can't... If I'm looking over here, like you can see where my mouse is in the top left corner. I'm looking over there. I don't see the break pop up above my head. How you doing this Wednesday? Also, Honda's breathing. That's how he's doing. How you doing? How is your Wednesday going, Bimer? Yeah, that would be nice. You know, that would be nice. Just something to give me some feedback that, hey, you're in danger. You might want to, like, not be out in the open and actually seek cover. Some loot. We got a common there. Yeah, I mean, because even this game takes some inspiration from The Division. As you can see, I've got 2 abilities. I've got a shield. I've got 2 weapons, things like that. It actually does. I've got some core abilities that I can utilize. Like I said, it very much does take some inspiration from The Division. Oh, I need to apparently apparently need to run my washer on a clean cycle. I just got alert about that. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, this game is actually pretty cool for an indie game. I will admit that. I was so happy when they accepted my key request. Yeah, Helldivers 1. Hello? Oh. I'm in, like I said, okay, so I'm under another tornado watch. This is going to be a fun night. But Helldivers 1, Sin and I can attest to that. That was a hell of a lot of fun. There was Alien Swarm. Is that the one you're thinking of? Yeah, Alien Swarm. Yeah. Sin and I played that too and had a lot of fun with it. There's also, Sin, if you're still here, help me out here. What was the other game that we played a lot? They released their second one, and I can't remember what the name of it is. Oh, come on. What is it? You would go in, it was an alien shooter. And you would go in on alien planets and have to complete certain objectives. The second one I never really got big into, but you could select which class you wanted to play. It sounds a lot like Alien Swarm, but I don't think it's Alien Swarm, unless Alien Swarm had Alien Swarm 2. But Sin and I actually had made plans to play it, and we never got into it, unfortunately. Oh, this is bugging the shit out of me. This is really bugging the shit out of me. It was a top-down shooter. Both of them were. Okay, hold on. Now this is bugging me. Let's go find it. Yeah. Okay. I'm literally asking Sin right now. Let me see. Let's see what he says. Because now this is driving me nuts. No. What is it? Come on. What is this game? I think it started with a red. Red Solstice? Hold on. This might be it. Hold on. Uh, Yeah, so Red Solstice is what Sin thinks it is, but it said Steam says I only have played 2 minutes. Yep, heard it in the GZW vid. Yeah, rough launch, but it's improved. It has. Like, that game has gotten... It's nowhere where it started from. Nowhere near. They've come such a long way. It's incredible. But yeah, Red Solstice, may be it. That you selected a class and you had to specifically, oh god. You had to, like, just kill aliens, and the swarms kept getting harder and harder as you stayed on the planet. So the objective was, like, you had certain objectives you needed to go do, with a bunch of bonus objectives you could do, but with the idea that it slows you down. So it was a lot of fun, but Sin and I just never got the opportunity to play it. Even though we wanted to. But it was like it was a squad of 4 players too. And you had, the other thing I didn't like about it, that if you didn't have 4 players, you could control the AI and give them orders, but it was not good. The AI was dumb as bricks. And we're like, yeah, I want to shoot this wall with a rocket launcher. You're like, please don't. That's going to kill all of us. Don't do that, please. That man just jumped outside the wall. I'm going to let him figure out how to get back in here, but that was kind of funny. Also, Pimer, I don't know if you saw, because I know you play. Tarkov 1.0 was announced. Yes, I did. I sent it to everyone that plays Grayzone Warfare. I'm like, I'm 10-second famous. Hell yes. Also, I brought it up with someone who was playing Tarkov, and they really didn't like the reason how the space is too big. That's what makes it great! Like, having that much space to work with? Now, it's not as populated, which they're working on, but at the same time, you're judging a pre-alpha game to a beta game. But yeah, Tarkov has announced 1.0. 1.0 Tarkov comes out maybe in August. Supposedly, it has a Steam release coming with it, too. I'm hoping that if you already own the game, they will give you a Steam key. But that's yet to be determined. So, they haven't really said much. Apparently, between now and then, Arena is supposed to hit Steam. So we'll see about that as well. It should be interesting. 1.0 includes... so this is going to be the longest wipe in Tarkov history. 1.0 will include the final quest, Escape from Tarkov. They apparently are changing some very core mechanics, which they haven't announced yet, but should be relatively interesting. I'm curious to know what that entails. Pestily did a really good job covering it in detail about what's going on. Now, because of that, they've also announced PvE players, and PvE doesn't wipe, is going to require a wipe in order to accept the new quests. This is to prevent them from spoiling the ending for PvP players, which do go through the wipe, which is fair. I consider that fair. I love PvE Tarkov. It's a lot of fun. But the differences between Tarkov and Grayzone Warfare is that Tarkov has good-sized maps that are very busy, whereas Grayzone Warfare is a little bit more spaced out, but I actually find you have to play a lot more tactically in Grayzone Warfare than I do in Tarkov. Get your stash between your runs. That's changing next update. But keep in mind that the game is still pre-alpha, so this isn't a beta. This isn't a beta yet. It's pre-alpha. It's not even an alpha yet. So, but yeah, that is changing next update. They've kind of confirmed. Let me see. Let me think about what I can talk about here. They have said that the cops, the forward positions, you will be able to access your stash, turn in delivery quests there, and do other activities that would require you to normally go back to base. Now, that being said, the other big addition is you no longer have to go back to base for certain quests. So like kill quests. You can now absolutely turn those in and take them from the field. So that's also a big addition. Oh god, don't die. So like I said, big changes coming in 0.3. That's why I said the key here for Gray Zone is to be patient. The game's only going to get better. And they are absolutely listening to community feedback. They are participating very actively with Twitch. They stream every other week, essentially, with their dev blog, releasing new details about what's coming. They play the game live with their viewers, which leads to stream sniping 90% of the time. They actively read Reddit and respond there. Most of the moderators are actually MFG staff. So like I said, they are very, very, very popular with their community. So saying that, you know, well, it's not as mature as Tarkov. Well, yeah, no shit. That's stating a bit of the obvious there, but you know. Did I complete some? Yes, I did. Okay, let's come over here. Got some new stuff. I've got a SMG, and those aren't as good. But yeah, so like I said, it's patience. Patience is a virtue with this game, and I'm looking forward to it. Should be fun. It just occurred to me that I minimized YouTube. Let me bring that back up. There we go. All right. So... I just wish I could talk about it more because, like I said, there's so much good shit happening in that game. That's worth it. That's huge. I'm going to sacrifice 13 health for 43 shield. Yeah, that's worth it. I can actually put more health onto it if I want to. We're actually going to put shield regen on it. Okay, what else can we got? More health for less shield. We'll do that. All right, let's go over to our forge and see what we can do over here. God. So yeah, like I said, tonight I'm getting my my light fixtures in, so that'll be good. Go ahead and start switching those out. Tomorrow I'm getting we need to get some, I need to get some gear because that's level 29 and we're only level 20. Tomorrow I'm getting the ceiling fans in, so I'm going to take some time. Today I also got in some motorcycle parts, which Honda, you might be appreciative of. I got some new floorboards in. I got some highway pegs. I got some, what else did I get? I got some new shifter pegs for my toe and my heel shifter. Which I'm really looking forward to getting those installed. They added a really nice flair to that, matched the bike a lot more. Getting a drink holder tomorrow, and then I got my heated grips installed. I found those, so really happy I ended up finding those again. Look at that! Noodles is playing Gray Zone Warfare. I'll have to tell him that. Yeah, by the way, I was featured in their 1-year anniversary video. Register for the year Friday. Yeah, so I need to, Friday is another Indian Motorcycle Rider Group ride, which is a 2-hour and 45-minute ride. I need to actually start prepping for that. My plan was to take the Corvette and go get new tires, or at least go buy new tires and schedule when I can actually get in there. Don't think that's going to happen, because I also need to be running Seafoam through the engine. So, like I said, that kind of messed up that idea. No, sir, I don't like flamethrowers. Stop it. No, I don't like I don't like kamikazes either. But yeah, so I've got some work to do. The good news is the heated grips was the hardest part. I think the rest of this is going to go fairly easy. You know, there's famous last words. But in all comparison to things I'm already doing, the grips and taking off the control panels and things like that should be a lot harder than taking out the floorboards are one bolt and one nut, done, with 2 spacers in there. Those should be easy as hell to replace. The shift knobs are the toe shifters are literally just I need to take a wrench to it. I've got a string wrench. What is that called? A strap wrench. That's what it's called, strap wrench. I've got a strap wrench that'll break loose the rubber on it, take that off, clean it up with some Goo Gone, and then the new ones actually go in their place and screw on. So that should be fairly easy. The hardest part about that's going to be breaking loose the old ones. Oh, crap. Someone's messaging me. You know what? I've got that. I was like, wait a minute. I have a solution for enemies this tightly packed. Hold on a second. Let me see. Gotta love a random number texting me hello. Yeah, I'm gonna respond to that. My complaint with that is most people are like, well, the thing I hate about this, and I really do, is like people are like, they don't understand why I won't make an Epic Games account. And I'm like, because they sell my data. It's like, well, your data's already out there. Why? That's not a leg to stand on. I was like, yes, it actually is. You know all those spam calls you get and shit like that? Ever gotten those spam calls about your car's extended warranty? Where do you think they got your damn phone number from? It's like, let me give you a hint. This isn't from you signing up for these services. Oh God, it's apparently hailing right now. Wow. It's not here right now. But it's like, yeah, so those companies, you are to be bought and sold for. And if you're okay with that, that's fine. But keep in mind that you're giving them your time and your information free of charge. Yeah, I'm not okay with that. Exactly why I don't do business with Home Depot anymore. When they sold my information, boy, that pissed me off. Boy, did that piss me off. I started getting calls like after I bought appliances from them, like, oh, well, you know, you interested in water filtration system to protect your new dishwasher? And I was like, how do you know I have a new dishwasher and who the hell did you buy my information from? What the fuck? Yeah, fuck that. Nope. I was incredibly pissed at Home Depot for that one. Currently pricing out a new PC because I figured I've maxed out hardware-wise for performance. What are you looking at? Ironically, I just helped Pimer buy essentially a new PC. And I almost made a really poor decision today. And this is kind of where I started the conversation with Pimer, was, turns out Micro Center has 5090s in stock. And I was like, do I really want to go swipe that credit card? The hard wave. And to be fair, yeah, it's built very nice. You did get the 9800 X3D, right? Nice. I'm still on AM4 socket, so I actually can't upgrade my current bottleneck. That's fair. Yeah, ironically, I helped Sin build a new computer just recently, too. Yeah, and like I said, the reason why I want a 5090 is, I was kind of talking about this with Sin at the beginning of the stream. My computer upstairs is now hosting my 9800 X3D, and it's paired with a it's paired with a 9800 X. It's got a 9800 X3D and a 3080 Ti. And let me tell you, that 3080 Ti is getting its ass kicked by a 4K monitor or a 4K TV, right? It's just not gonna cut it with 4K. It does for the majority of games on, you know, high and medium settings, but it's an addiction, right? Like once you get to like the max level settings, you're like, I can't go back. So I was looking at a 5090 specifically to throw in that system. I don't think I'm going to do it just because it's way too big of a waste of money. Now my Ryzen 9 9900X3D has been absolutely, or 9950X3D has been absolutely fucking lovely. I've loved it. It has, I will say, I didn't expect to see much of a performance increase, but gaming is the same, but for video editing and other things, oh my god, it's wonderful to have those extra cores. Invader incoming. Where are you? Oh, that was a loot. Oh, okay, I'm not getting invaded. Or if I am, they're not here. Oh, the 9800X3D? Yeah, that's the one I'd recommend. The 9800X3D is currently the gaming PC god. If you are only doing gaming, grab the 9800X3D. Oh man, my wife's car is getting nailed. Intruve is also completely hosed. Yeah, doesn't surprise me. Let me see something real quick. You know, I say it's not hailing here yet. Let me go check. I can pull up my security camera here and go look at my front door. Is it even raining? Slightly. It's barely raining here. My wife is only 20 minutes away. Geek Squad, yeah. I don't recommend Geek Squad. I mean, like I said, my suggestion was going to be if you want it done for free, mail it to me, and I can see what data I can pull off of it. Still running a Ryzen 7 2700X? That's all I had to say about that. Taking it to a dedicated data recovery company to look at it. Yeah, what they're going to have to do. It may be too expensive. I don't know what data is on there for you, but there might be a point where you want to cut your losses. They're probably going to have to desolder the controller chip on there and hope that VRMs are actually in good shape. You're probably going to pay for a new drive that's identical because they're going to have to sacrifice it to pull the actual... they're going to have to... What they will probably end up doing is having to desolder the controller chip off of a brand new drive and solder it onto that one and hope the VRMs are in good shape. So... you will probably be looking at buying a second drive just to try and recover that data. If it's, yeah, exactly. Yep, doesn't surprise me in the slightest. For those kinds of data recoveries, their main target isn't you. It's business that like, oh man, that was our main drive and we need some way to fix it. Yeah, that's their target audience for that kind of operational work. And I'm familiar with it. And it's something that actually is very interesting to me is watching that kind of data recovery. But I don't foresee me, especially with me having my own NAS hosted on my environment. For $1,000, I would rather go pay for a NAS on my network that I can back up my documents to, which is exactly what I do. All my taxes, all my personal documents, all of my important documents are hosted on my network NAS. Specifically because I'm like, all right, there's no reason for me to have that hosted on my gaming PC. If this PC were to die, I'd have no problems. I'd be a little annoyed because that means I'm going to have to reinstall Windows. I'm going to have to do all this other stuff, but it's what it is. All my important documents are hosted in my cloud. I might refuse and take it back, and I might send it your way if you'd be willing to look at it. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do anything with it, but I can throw it on my tech bench and see if I can put it through a Linux distro and see if it can't see it. But past that, I don't have a solder station with a microscope to actually do that kind of work. I'm familiar with what it is, but I do not have the capability to actually manipulate drives at that level. Like when it comes to doing traces and PCB work and solder and desolder of actual chips, I'm familiar with it. I know how to. I would be confident that I could figure it out, but I'd be working on my own stuff because it's actually one of the things I want to do. Believe it or not, is I've got a few consoles lying around that I want to refurbish. Specifically, I mean they sort of work, but the leads are damaged and things like that, and I know how to fix them. It wouldn't be too bad. I want to start modding some of these consoles too. Like my PS2, I'd love to put in mod chips in, specifically so I could actually have like an HDMI input into it and things like that. Same thing with my Xbox. Same thing with my older consoles like my Genesis, things like that. I'd love to start modding and actually wiring that. Now, the cool thing is for the NES, the Genesis, and things like that. Yeah, but the RMA isn't going to cover your data. But I mean, that is what it is. What brand was it? Out of curiosity, I'm actually rather curious about that. Yeah, I think that I don't think you're going to get your data back. I'll be honest. I can take a look at it, but I would say there's a 85% chance you're not getting your data out of it. Team something or other. Well, that's wires on PCBs. How I can confidently solder wires on PCBs. I don't quite dare try anything more than that. Yeah, soldering traces, especially on older consoles like the NES and the Genesis. Team Group. I've never heard of that. Well, I think I've heard of them. I have no idea what their quality is. But like the traces on a like on the older consoles like the Genesis and the NES, things like that, are so big that it's actually not too bad to redo traces on that. When you start getting down to things like the PS5 and HDMI ports and things like that, that's when I start having issues with trying to resolder pads and trying to re-tin pads and things like that. Yeah, I'm not sure. In all honesty, I've had 2 solid state drives die on me in the entire time I've been building computers. One was an Intel. Well, technically I've had 3 because I blew one up, but one was an Intel and one was a Samsung. And the Samsung died because of a power spike. That was actually on my server, believe it or not, but that was also a very old drive at the time it died. Which is also why I started backing up my virtual machines, because when I lost that was all the game servers that I was running. So all of our save games were like Conan Exiles, for V Rising, for Minecraft. All of our save files got wiped. Valheim was on there, if you remember that, Honda. Yeah, so I started backing up my virtual machines to my NAS. A multimeter, including soldering everything on the PCB. I had instructions to follow. Yeah, like I'm very familiar. One of the things I'm actually interested in doing, and it wouldn't, if I ever get this LLC founded to actually run my company, which my intention is to move my brand, the Blackmagics brand. So my stream, my computer builds, aspects of that particular element of my life, I intend to move into an LLC, because I get a lot of asks for like, hey, can you help me build a computer? And I'm like, yeah, I can teach you how. I'm not comfortable building it myself because I don't want something to go wrong and now I'm liable for it. Similarly, I've had a lot of asks for me to work on people's cars, specifically because like when I did the LED mods to my Genesis and to my Corvette. Why is that keyboard on the desk strobing? Don't worry about it. Like I said, when I've gotten asked to do that, when people see that I actually know how to work on DC voltage, and tapping into car lines is not that difficult. I know how to do it. I know how to replace radios and things like that. Like my Corvette was gorgeous, and I actually had some very cool lighting effects going on with that heightened the car. It wasn't cheap RGB. It was done properly. and it did some very cool things with it to highlight the car. And people were like, "Oh man, can you help me with that?" And I was like, I can show you what I did, but you're doing it on your own. But if I found an LLC, it does kind of protect my assets from my it protects my assets from my personal assets, so my house and things like that would be safe. I've wanted to do that, and then my idea is that repairing pins on motherboards actually isn't that difficult. If you can, the pinouts on a CPU chip, so you'll find that most motherboards that are listed as damaged on eBay are damaged because either that the pin got bent in the CPU socket or something along those lines, or a pin got bent in like a RAM socket or things like that. The RAM PCIe and other areas like that are actually incredibly easy to fix. You can actually resolder a new pin to there and clean that up and it'll be fine. The pins in the CPU socket don't necessarily require a microscope, but if you have the pinout, you can actually determine what the hell's going on, because a lot of times you'd be amazed at like even the fact that a broken pin may be a ground pin, in which case you're covered. You don't need to worry about it. There was like a lot of pins on a motherboard, and there's like a good 60 to 70% chance that you break a ground pin, that your motherboard will work completely fine, even though it's broken. But a lot of people don't want to risk it. So my idea is I could start refurbishing motherboards and sell them. I mean, some of these motherboards, like an AM5 motherboard, I actually saw Linus Tech Tips do this. They purchased an AM5 motherboard, an X670E chipset, which is 2 years old at this point, for $35 and sold it for $120. It's like, yeah, I can, for literally about 15 minutes of time. And it's like, damn, I could do that. The area of computers I don't want to get into, except for friends. So, with what Pimer's mentioning, as I don't want to get into tech support or assistance. Friends, I'm okay doing it for, just because it's like, it's something that they obviously know I know how to do. But even when it comes to my own family, they're like, "Hey, I'm having this kind of problem." I'm like, yeah, that kind of sucks. This is what the problem is. It's way too hard to diagnose and tell you how to fix it. I recommend you do this instead. I can't work you through this without some sort of technical background over the phone. It's just way too difficult. But in areas that I have faith that someone actually knows what the hell they're doing with a computer, like Pimer or you, Honda, it's like, yeah, I'm having this kind of... Holy shit, that was really... I don't think you heard that over the microphone, but that was a really bad crack of lightning. But like for people that know what they're doing, I'm okay, comfortable talking people through that. And even then, I've had like Sen's friends ask me like, "Hey, can you help me with that?" And like, the one guy I will never understand. Is this guy was completely oblivious to computers in general. So by that, I mean, he was having an issue where every time he'd start an emulator, his computer would reboot. And I made the offer. I was like, I can come help you with that if you're interested in that. I mean, that doesn't sound like a difficult issue at all. And so I was like, my thought was I'll put it through Cinebench. I'll put it through Furmark, stress the GPU, stress the CPU. If that doesn't succeed, I'll put it through Prime 95 and stress the RAM and the CPU. If that doesn't cause it, I will put it through MemTest to make sure the memory's good, and basically start tracking down where the issue was to help him keep this computer. He came back and said, "No, don't worry about it. I ended up buying a new one." I was like, "Okay, what did you buy?" And keep in mind, this is years ago, pre-COVID. And he was like, "I bought an i7 7700K with two 2080 Ti's in it." And I was like, with 64 gigs of RAM. And I was like, two 2080 Ti's. Unless you're doing video editing or something that specifically can leverage multiple GPUs, gaming ain't it. And you just told me your primary use case for this PC is emulators. What the fuck do you need two 2080 Ti's for to run emulators? Right? It's like, this same guy, by the way, I almost took him for a ride. And it was funny because he's becoming known as like that guy that wants a high-end PC, but has more money than sense. To the point where like, I don't normally recommend people go to Geek Squad. He posted a picture of his computer, and I mean like the actual picture of his physical desktop, and said, "Which one of these is the D drive?" I was just like, I was like, Uh, and he was like, and how do I know if I have water cooling? And I'm just like, oh God. With an actual AIO radiator in there. He's like, how do I know if I have water cooling? And I'm like, oh God, don't close the computer. Step away from the machine. Please, just step away from it. Where I almost took him for a ride though, is he reported that he had an Xbox Series S for sale. And he was saying, oh, it's just shutting down on its own. And I was like, okay, where is it? He goes, oh, I've got it in my entertainment center. And he posted a picture of it. And this thing is in like a little box with the door shut. I'm thinking, dimes to donuts, it's overheating and shutting itself off from thermal protection and just not letting him know that. So I was like, all right, well, since it's broken, what do you want for it? He was like, oh, I'm looking for 150. So I go out to Google, or I go out to eBay. I'm like, well, eBay has them for $100, $120 with the controller, all the cables, and the hard drives. And these are the up models of it that have the DVD drive on it. So I'll give you $100 for it. And, you know, meanwhile, Zing, you've all recognized Zing. He's been in here before and posted in our Discord. Zing was like, if you get away with this. Because everybody who knows anything about PCs knew exactly what was going on. It's like, yeah, this system is starved for cold air. And I'm betting 5 seconds with an air mover is going to fix this. Watch this. I'm about ready to walk away with a $200 to $300 console for $100. Let's see if I can get away with this. He ended up not going with it, specifically holding firm to 150, and I was like, I'm not interested. Nope. Half off for a used console that is in questionable condition? Nah. No. Thanks, but no thanks. Oh, but I almost got it. Oh, man. But yeah, so Honda. So I would recommend a 9800X3D for several reasons. So you have a 2700X, which is that is a non-3D cache processor, but they didn't even make those back then. So the 9800X3D specifically has the 3D cache on it. It actually helps accelerate games and actually streamlines processor calls to the actual onboard cache, which is right next to the core. So it's very, very, very low latency. So you're going to get an added benefit of having a 3D cache with your games. You'll see an immediate improvement in performance there versus the 9700X. If you don't do workloads, like you don't do computer programming, you don't do compilations, you don't do video editing, anything CPU intensive, there are some games that are actually very CPU intensive that would benefit from a more workload based processor. But for the most part, your X3D is going to be the premier gaming processor right now. It currently is the best gaming processor on the market you can buy. Right behind that is the 9950 X3D, which is what I have, which is essentially a 9800 X3D and with a 9700X smashed on top of it. And it actually, the chipset drivers will actually guide, go away fly. The chipset drivers will actually guide 3D applications to utilize the 3D cores, and the efficiency cores are used for more of the CPU workloads. So Jay's 2 Cents did a good video about that when they were playing Cyberpunk. They showed where the efficiency cores went to sleep when they were playing video games, which is exactly what you want. That it's a 16-core, 32-thread processor, and it migrates between which particular which particular node, for lack of a term, that you're talking to. Play a lot of simulator games like KSP and Stationeers, but I bet those are fairly CPUs heavy considering what I'm used to. Maybe. You'd be surprised. Like Final Fantasy 14 can be CPU intensive, but even with the efficiency cores on there, you're only going to get like maybe 5 FPS. So you'll get 185 FPS rather than 180. For gaming and watching videos, that's about it. So yeah, just go with the 3D cache because it's the 3D. There's no reason to get a 9950 X3D. If you can't find a 9800 X3D, look at the 7800 X3D. The 8000 series was incredibly disappointing and kind of a whoops moment that AMD doesn't want to talk about. So look at those two processors. Yeah, exactly. You don't see that difference. Micro Center, they do ship, just not certain parts that are easily scalped, which I actually kind of appreciate. Believe it or not, Micro Center is actually where I bought my 9800X3D. When I went to go buy it, I mean, a year and a half earlier, I had a 7800X3D. So I walked in, and there were just a wall of online orders of 9800X3Ds. And the irony about that was when I went to go pick up my order, they were like, "What'd you order?" I was like, "I ordered a 9800X3D and thermal paste." And the guy was like, "Oh, I know which one that is. You were the only guy to buy thermal paste. Everyone else has come back to get it." Everyone forgot to buy thermal paste. But the irony about it was, so the 7800X3D was 2 years old. I got my 9800X3D for $475, which was an amazing price. That was retail. The 7800X3D was on sale for $476, which kind of brings up the what the fuck why question. You got to head out. Thanks so much for stopping by, Pimer. I appreciate it. Hope you have a good night, buddy. But yeah, the 9800X3D is what I'd recommend. You'll obviously need a new motherboard. There's the X8 there's the 870E, the X870E line, and the X670E line. The only difference between the two really is that the 8 series has a dedicated Thunderbolt and PCI Gen 4, or not PCI, has a dedicated USB 4.0 connector on it. That by the spec from AMD, it has to have that on board. If you don't care about USB-C performing at 10 gigs a second, there's no reason to invest in that. So I recommend you look at the X670E line for those motherboards. DDR5 RAM, there is currently no way to run all 4 sticks at their rated speeds. So, you know, if you're familiar with XMP profiles, there is, if you try to enable XMP profiles, and I learned this the hard way, I just hope this thing will last a whole lot longer. My 7800X3D is still pumping. Ask Sin. My 7800X3D is still pumping strong. So I would have no worries about that at all. At all. So, I mean, that's already 2 years old. So, you know, we're coming, I would expect a gaming computer built at this level to last 5 to 6 years, which it should. But the DDR5 RAM currently stresses the memory controllers and the processors a little too hard. So if you try to enable XMP on 4 sticks, it will not take it. It will be unstable. I found that out the hard way because I had 64 gigs on 16 sticks, or not on 4 16 sticks. So running 64 gigs that way just did not work. Yeah, you got it towards the end of the DDR4. Yeah, DDR5 is about 3 years old now. So, I mean, DDR4 is already starting to drop off the far end. Which 5 years on a 2600X is impressive. Really, because like most games these days require a minimum of a 5000 series CPU. But yeah, so I recommend if you want 64 gigs of RAM, look at a 2X32 set. This particular rig, given what I do with it, since I do a lot of memory intensive and workload them, I actually am running 96 gigs of RAM on this, which is a little overkill for me, even at that level. Ooh. So, just keep that in mind. That I recommend going with just 2 sticks. And then as far as motherboard choice, it's all a matter of what feature set are you looking for. So, do you need Wi-Fi on it? Unfortunately, one of the big changes in computer building these days that I absolutely disgust me is that the debug LEDs are now a quote-unquote premium feature. So if you want that debug LED, you're looking at paying for it. Which sucks. Oh my god, mega kill. One sec. I see someone typing in chat. Give me a minute. I think I've only looked at the debug LED on Mobo once. I've actually used it quite a bit for overclocking and figuring out, like, especially when I was trying to diagnose my RAM issue that I mentioned earlier. It was incredibly helpful to know what state it was in when it was booting, specifically to try and understand what was going on. Now, one of the most hilarious things I had happen with this processor is after I built the system, which I guess the system is now almost a week old. When I built the system, I almost had a heart attack because I booted the system for the first time and it told me, all right, you have a 9900 or you have a 9950 X3D processor or 16 core processor. I am utilizing all 8 cores. And I was like, excuse me? What? Number don't match. What do you mean? And it turns out that the BIOS needed to be updated to recognize all 16 cores and 32 threads. As soon as I did that, Windows was like, all right, I see 32 processor cores now. Like, yeah, there's the threads. But that gave me a heart attack of like, what the hell do you mean? I have a 16 core processor that has 8 processor cores. That doesn't make sense. Doing pretty good with this. Shit. I didn't mean to get hit by that. Oh, we got a big boy. Minute 23 left. You got another big boy. That power blast is just immensely powerful. I will say one of the advantages of the 870 over the 670 chipsets, seems like 870s have more PCI 5 or PCIe Gen 5 NVMe slots than its lower level equivalent. At least this board did. So my last 2 boards have been MSI. And frankly, one of the reasons why I went with MSI is because my 4090 is MSI. And it has been a dream. It has been completely solid, even in areas where it shouldn't have been. Because I actually, given the chungus humongous brick size of the 4000 series GPUs, I ended up getting the Supreme Hydro edition of the 4090, which is a water cooled. And I ended up having an air bubble, which I can only surmise it was an air bubble, pop up either in the pump or the block. And my temps went nuts in the middle of playing Starfield. And it handled it fantastically. I had a little bit of an FPS drop, which is what alerted me to it. And the temps were a little higher than normal. But other than that, the entire GPU was like, yeah, okay, I'm good. Even though water wasn't flowing across it. I was like, holy shit, okay. Well, you convinced the hell out of me. An 8TB NVMe seems like a good choice for gaming, especially... which 8TB? That's going to be a premium. That's going to be a pretty penny. I've got Samsung 990 Pros, which... I've got 2 2TB and 2 4TB, which have been fantastic. Samsung is a company I recommend for storage devices. Oh, nice. Better DPS. The hell is that smell? I think my cat just did the unspeakable. Wow, that is a hell of a upgrade in health. That was pure car argument. I've had good luck with Western Digital is mid-grade for me. They're good. They're decent. I've had issues with them, specifically their platter drives. I don't know how they're solid. I don't know how their NVMe drives are, but yeah, I've had issues with their platter drives. That is a huge drop. I don't want that. I don't want that either. Let's see here. So we can upgrade. There we go. We'll upgrade that. We got plenty of money to do it. Armor. Upgrade that. Upgrade that. Upgrade that. And we've got some more blue currency. Hold on. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the reason why I picked up the whole purpose of my system, since I built it and since I designed it, was I was originally going to do, I'm still in planning to, I was going to dual boot. So I'm going to have one 2 terabyte host. The 2 terabyte drives are host operating systems, and the 4 terabytes are for the storage areas of those operating systems. Because I don't like storing things on the same drive as the operating system. So my original intention was to store, so Windows is installed to one of those 2 terabytes. And then I have the 4 terabyte for game installs. That's always been the case. And then the other OS I was going to run was going to be Linux. And I did Bazite for a while, and Bazite worked, although the NVIDIA drivers are absolute dog shit. HDR crashed the system very badly whenever I would try to enable it, and I've gotten to the point where my Bazite install is completely corrupted because of that. So I'm a little bit up a creek about that. You got this Western Digital Black Series 1 terabyte NVMe a couple of years ago, and it's been pretty solid so far. Nice. Yeah, and one of the things I just did is I mentioned earlier how I'm working with my system for the 4K TV. I just put a 4 terabyte NVMe drive in there. What I didn't know, so that was my previous gaming computer, and it had an i9 9900K and a 3080 Ti. The i9 9900K is going down to my server because I figure a 16 core 32 thread processor would be, which is why the computer is hexadecimal, by the way. I figure that would be good in my server. That should be an amazing processor for that server. It'll also have 64 gigs of RAM on it, and it will actually be hooked up to my server storage. So it won't have an NVMe drive in it anymore, which is kind of sad. But it will have several solid state drives that'll be running my virtual machines. So my virtual machines and my Plex server will get a huge boost. Depending on the AIO, yes. I kind of had this discussion with Pimer that AIOs are great all right. So when you talk about AIOs and air cooling, right? AIOs have a much smaller quality range that any kind of AIO will operate decently. Some are always going to be better than others, but any AIO will kind of be in that good to great range, whereas an air cooler can be anything from that horrible, cheap plastic shit to an excellent range. And I will say AIOs can go up to excellent, but I wouldn't even say that. Like there are certain air coolers out there that can perform AIOs. Like the Noctua NHD15 will absolutely murder about 80% of the AIOs on the market. And I wasn't a believer in that until I tried it out myself, and it's phenomenal. I stuck it on a few machines that the AIOs had failed on, and they've never been colder. Like my server is one of those. I've got an NHD15 on that server board right now, and it went from idling at around 57, 58 degrees Celsius down to about 52. So I'm getting better performance on an air cooler than I was on an AIO, and that was a Corsair AIO. Right now, from what I can see and what my research showed me, most performance-wise, the top of the line AIO cooler, which is also incredibly difficult to come by, is the Arctic Freezer 2 360. if you can get the larger one, and the main, and I can go over why here in a second, but if you can get the larger one, which is the 140 millimeter times 3, so that would be the 280 plus 140 is going to be the 420. You can get the 420 edition. That's going to cool it even more, but keep in mind that most cases can't accommodate that. But I just upgraded from my Corsair AIO to the Liquid Freezer 3, and to showcase the kind of performance I'm getting on it right now. Oops. I actually been monitoring it really closely. So my processor is running, my 9950 X3D is running at 50%, and it's holding it at 60 degrees. Because I'm not using my Corsair AIO anymore, I did have to manually configure my own fan curve in here because I have all Corsair fans in this. So normally you would do this to liquid temperature, but I don't have that sensor anymore. So I did it to package temperature. So sorry, my wife is texting me. So the idea behind this and the reason why this cooler is a lot better, let me actually go find it for you. Arctic Liquid Freezer 360. There we go. So one of the main reasons why this is actually really good is, and matter of fact, I ran into space issues in my case because of this. I had to redesign the layout of my case. This radiator is actually thicker than most AIOs. So most AIOs are going to be about, I would say, 1 inch to 2 inches, something like that. This is about 1.5 times the size of that. I was actually amazed about how good and how thick that radiator was. And that's why I had to redesign the layout on my case, is because that was so thick, I couldn't actually mount it to the top of my case. I've got on my computer, here, Aorus Pro Ice. There we go. So on my particular motherboard, oh, come on. Here. On my particular motherboard, right here is the 2 8-pins for my CPU. Yeah, that was colliding with the radiator. It was that thick. So I had to move it to elsewhere in my case, which isn't a bad thing. It just was a little annoying. But yeah, so keep that in mind, that is an extra thick radiator. So your case may not fit it. Mine didn't until I readjusted everywhere, because originally on the front of my case, I had my water cooler for my 4090 and I mounted my AIO in the top. So I couldn't do that anymore. So I had to move my radiator for my CPU to the front. And what's even funnier is that my radiator for my GPU no longer, it's so thick, or it's longer than it is actual, like 360 millimeters. So I actually had to mount it reversed. So I've got two pipes coming out of the middle of my case because that's the only way I can mount it. So yeah, keep that in mind, is that it may take some creative ideas to be able to mount that in a case. All right, so I need to kill twin enemies with, you know what we can do? We'll do this infiltration mission again, and I'll just go kill 10 enemies with a sword. So if you're looking at a new case, I've always been a fan of Corsair cases. I haven't tried much else recently. I have a fractal design case that's been really nice, specifically for my NAS. I've heard great things about Leon Lee, Silverstone's, and also one I've used in the past. Antec was a big one that I used when I first built my system. But Corsair cases are so easy to manipulate and work in that, especially the newer ones, it's been a dream to work in them. I've always appreciated the modularity of Corsair cases, of being able to actually like take certain components out, adjust them, and put them back together without actually having to disassemble the whole damn case. Even on my older cases, like the the 500D I have, the radiator mount at the top could come out without having to pull off fans and things like that. And you would mount your radiator to the mount and then mount the fans on it and then put everything right back together again. And it just slides in, screws in with 2 thumb screws. Corsair has been a dream to work in with cases. They are a little bit on the more expensive side though. But yeah, I mean, even my current case is, let me see. I think I may have sent, actually here, we'll do this. So I know this is kind of funny. Hold on. Let me find. I'm going to use you as a clipboard here, Honda. That I build my computers for aesthetics, even though I'm probably the only one that's ever going to look at it. But yeah, so here's my current system, literally. So, I mean, I did the, you can see where I had to put the 4090 mount in there at an angle just because that was messed up. Then I had to do the radiator up here. I'm at least usable once, right? I mean, so the other thing I did, like I said, that's the 4090 that I specifically mounted to a riser. And I love what I did with the cable management. That these Leon Lee cables are beautiful as far as fitting the aesthetic. I know that the lights kind of bled out, but they do match the theme of the case real well. And I actually really did want to do a white colored theme for this build. And it works. It actually works really, really well. I really like the look of this case. That this has been one of the more prouder projects I've worked on. Leon Lee now has the Corsair cable series Spec Omega. Gotcha. Leon Lee now has RGB. So one of the best things about this cable management is the IQ Link fans. Which, let me see if I can actually show you these. Do they have a demo? Let me come back here. IQ Link. So IQ Link is a wonderful technology that rather than wiring every fan, you wire the fans to themselves and they pass the signal through all the devices to provide power and provide RGB control. So you only have one cable going through your system and it's not daisy chained. That's well, I mean, it's daisy chained, but not like one long cable wired in parallel. So this has been absolutely beautiful as far as cable management goes. That just this one controller can fit, I think, 24 devices. And the Carbide series is really good. So like I said, they actually show this, that they literally rip all that Corsair Commander stuff out, all the fan controllers out, all the RGB controllers out, and this replaces it all. It's wonderful for cable management. Because this one, I really wish I could pause this. Come here. This one controller is feeding the AIO, which feeds this fan, which feeds these 3 fans, and the fans feed each other. It's fantastic. If you do have an LCD on this, which is buggy as fuck, it can control that too. So it's actually really, really cool. Now, the downside about all this, why did I get rid of it if I like it so much? Because the Corsair IQ software is about the biggest hunk of piece of shit you can ever put together. I hate Corsair. I've had it happen several times now where I will be playing games, my CPU gets up there in temperature, and IQ is just like, it crashed sometime last week, and my processor has been starving for cooling just because it's like, yeah, you know, now that I'm not reading temperature sensors, there's no reason for me to increase airflow. So I specifically moved away from Corsair for that particular reason, is because it was like, all right, love your hardware, your software is dog shit. My previous case was a deep cool. Jesus. I didn't mean to do that. I need to kill these via sword. Yeah, so like I said, Corsair makes good stuff. Their cases are incredibly solid. This is a 5000 series. The Carbide series, I've got plenty of those. My 500D is a Carbide. I don't know what my 4K TV is in. That's also a Corsair case, but I don't know. I think it's a Carbide series, but I don't know what the model number is. But yeah, Corsair definitely gets my vote of confidence for case management. Leon Lee is another good brand. Leon Lee has some controllers now. Those cables you saw going to my GPU, going to my CPU, and going to my 24-pin ATX are Leon Lee cables. And the way they do that is actually wireless RGB. So the L3 Connect app here, which I can't actually open right now because it's not installed on my start bar. The L3 Connect app actually lets you wirelessly communicate to all your fans and your cables to do some cool stuff with that. So yeah, Leon Lee is also one of my recommendations for cable management now too, just because I still think you need to plug power into the fans, but you no longer require to hook up RGB components and individual RGB controls. Hey, I can't shoot you there. And that's fair. Like, it all depends. Budget's going to drive everything, which is always when people always ask me, like, hey, can you help me build a computer? I'm like, sure. What's your budget? And I always try to fit that within budget. What are you looking to do? What resolution are you gaming at? What type of games are you going to play? Because, like, you know, people are going to play like, oh yeah, I just need something for Counter-Strike 2. All right, you don't need a 5070 or a 4080 for Counter-Strike 2. You know, that's not. Are you looking to play new games? Are you looking to play existing games? You're looking for something for school? You know, I just had someone ask me about building a computer specifically for schoolwork, and they're like, well, what GPU should I put in it? I was like, for schoolwork, don't. Grab an X3D processor and just utilize the integrated APU. That should be enough for games like Minecraft and things like that. You should be good there. Invader. Oh, Elon Musk? Are you serious? And he hurts a fuck ton. All right, Elon, who'd you get to play this game? Who'd you pay to play this game, buddy? We know damn sure that ain't you. Ouch. Cool. Invaders hurt, man. But yeah, like I said, it all comes down to what your budget and what your needs are and finding a good fit and balance between both of them. I've also recommended people away from like, hey, I want to get this 4090 and this like i3 processor. I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. You will regret that decision. Unless you're planning to upgrade that processor at some point, those are not going to pair well. Wow, the St. Louis is kicking the shit out of Cincinnati. God damn. Score is 8-0 in the top of the 8th. All right, let's try not to trigger the security alarm this time. Like that. God damn it. Oh, me. I will say one of the other games I've been playing is Last Epoch. I'm good on GPU. I got this 4070 not too long ago. Yeah. I think I bought my wife a 4070 Ti when there's nothing wrong with it. She inherited my 2080 Ti, but it was water cooled. And this is something you need to be aware of, is that water coolers will fail. They will. They are not really future-proof. When you buy a water cooler, it is with the understanding that that pump will eventually fail. It will not last as long as an air cooler. So keep that in mind too. If you're looking for something that's no maintenance, the benefit of an AIO is that it's quieter, can perform better cooling in certain cases, but it's also shorter life. I would love to build, and you know, the best cooling you can get on the market still is, outside of going with phase change, the best conventional cooling, let's rephrase this, is still a homemade custom-built water cooling set rig with a decent block, good radiator, things like that. But those run upwards of, you know, obviously a few $1,000s, depending on how good you want to do it. It is still on my list to do. That I've done water cooling in the past, and water cooling can be a pain because they are pretty high maintenance in comparison. You have to change out coolant. You have to change out other things. I've done custom loops that have worked wonderfully. The problem for me is that they are a pain to change out that kind of stuff with. I saw a video where Jay's 2 Cents actually did a really cool fill technique. He reverse pressurized, so he vacuumed the water cooling and actually put a vacuum in the entire loop, and then did explosive compression with an intake being in coolant, and it filled the entire rig in a matter of a second or two. It was impressive to watch. One of the things that's on my bucket list to do is I love doing custom loops because you can really make them look good if you have, but that also comes with a little bit of a trade-off too. There is a art to doing cable management, and if you can master that, there's an art to doing tube maintenance as well, or tube management. I would love to do a hard tubing custom loop. I am not skilled enough to do that yet, and I can't wrap my head around the angles and how to bend the hard tubing. I've got everything I need to do it. I've got the end pipe to support it. I've got the tube. I've got the heat gun. I've got everything I need to do hard tubing turns. I just lack the skill and the know-how to do it. But if you can do it, you can make some really, really good-looking loops. I have a buddy here named Tony who does some really cool loops, and he's actually won some case mod competitions. I've won one case mod competition in my life, and to be fair, that was a computer I put a lot of time and effort into in getting that where it needed to be. That was also a high performance machine too. That would dominate most things. That was back in the days of quad SLI. I had 2 Titans in it. It was a beast of a computer. But I did custom cooling with that, with some modifications in there. Before the days of RGB lighting, I had included lighting. I found ways to incorporate lighting into the case. I put aluminum tape behind the motherboard, aluminum duct tape behind the motherboard, and put LEDs behind the motherboard so it would shine from underneath the motherboard. And then I added those LEDs to a controller that would actually illuminate as the computer was in use to reflect what was happening. It was a very, very, very cool build. I was very, very proud of that. And just the uniqueness of that build came across really well. A lot of people were really impressed with how I did that and how the computer would reflect what was going on before the days of like IQ and custom RGB controllers, things like that. Do hard tubing is a lot like doing conduit in my mind. Conduit I can do, hard tubing I can't. Conduit is very easy to do in my mind because I just Lego it together. The problem with hard tubing is you can't Lego it together. You have to make the bends and then hope to God it fits. I didn't know I could reflect rockets until just now. So we're working on our sword kills here, clearly. Triple kill. Ow. Like, that's how you're supposed to do conduit, right? Yeah, that's not how you do hard conduit. Or, excuse me, that's not how you do hard tubing. All in one place, yeah. And then you realize you forgot to do a cable run and have to take it apart. Yeah, I did the conduit runs for all the power in here, and then did conduit runs to my basement, to my garage. So let's see. That should have completed the last mission, and it did. Daily rewards. We got a new sword. We got a blue sword, actually. Very cool. Which is worse than the... All right, So those are definitely worse. Let's see here. I've done miles of conduit with very few connectors. Yeah. I mean, you get that when you get those 24 feet lines of conduit that you can just run. And they just bridge into each other. That's not hard to do. All of these give us more shield, but less health. They also aren't heavy at all either. To be honest, how things are going, I'm not comfortable with that. Ooh. Can I put a card in there to fix that? Yes. Can I do a shield? Yes. Shield recovery. Oh, shit. I go configure that. I'm like, yeah, I don't need that. Yeah, so that's still worse. Okay. All right. And then over here, that's worse. Okay, good deal. Alrighty. And that brings us up quite a high in power level here. So we can, weapon, let's upgrade this to get this. Not enough credits. Never mind. We're not upgrading that. I'm not upgrading anything, apparently. Can upgrade that. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, me, what time is it? Oh, it's 6:45. Oh, God. I was like, what the hell time is it? It feels like it's getting late. Yeah, it's a little late. Alrighty, guys. Oh, let's go find somebody to raid, and we will call it there for the night. Who is live? You know who's live right now? And she's actually doing... We haven't said hello to her since the mid-alien days. We will go hang out with Coco. Coco Confessions are a really cool streamer. She's a partner. Does some really cool things. We met her through Mid-Alien, through that group. So we'll go chill with her for a bit. We're not going to send a raid message just because I'm trying to build that relationship back. So until we're more friendly with her, we'll kind of take it there. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're on YouTube right now, feel free to like and subscribe to the stream. I would certainly appreciate it. Help me help that algorithm out. We're trying to grow the YouTube channel as well. We'll toss the socials here on both regards because, hey, if you can check me out in multiple areas, that would be definitely helpful to growing. I unfortunately no longer stream on Facebook because we lost the followers to do that. That's fine. And Bot Rix doesn't want to work there. So thank you, Bot Rix. I appreciate you not functioning on YouTube all of a sudden. But check out the link tree. It has the Discord server. It's the best way to get a hold of me. I give away free games. We have about 200 free games. And they're not exactly low-quality games. It's, you know, all these indie devs that I've got duplicate copies of, I give them away. So check me out there on the Discord server. We've got some cool things happening. We'll be back Friday. I don't know what we're going to be playing then. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of my stream. I am Black Magix, and please stay laughing. And I will catch you all on Friday. Later!